Hello, hello. Hello, hello. And welcome back to another video. Hello, hello. How you guys doing? It is Sunday, and it is nice out here. It's March. It's the first Sunday of March, and it's a beautiful day. Look at this. What is that? A King Song S22 Pro. I don't know if it's a Pro or not, but it looks pretty well equipped. And an electric biker. Wonder how these guys are doing. So I just got out here. I don't know if I'm ready to ride and chat yet. I just want to get caught up with everyone and see how everyone's doing. And then maybe we'll do a little ride and chat with those fellas. I do have my extra mics on me, if you're wondering. In fact, I have a second set as well. So a second set and a second battery for the camera. So we are equipped today. We won't be missing a beat. Folks, thank you so much for dropping in. This is EUC NYC guy on the veteran Sherman electric unicycle. I'm in Central Park in Manhattan in New York City, in New York, in the United States of America, in North America, on the planet Earth. So those are your galactic directions. If you're anywhere not too far, thank you. If you're anywhere not too far from here, galactically speaking, that's where I'm at. So come check us out. Ooh, look at this guy. Let's get a close-up, shall we? We got people running in the opposite direction on the track. Oh, I know this guy. Buddy.
Yeah, you want to give this thing a rip?
I sure would. What is that, an S22?
Sure is.
Let's give her a shot. What do you got?
S22 Pro, upgraded sliders.
Upgraded sliders.
Upgraded sliders internally.
That's what I like to hear.
Nylonol pedals, nylonol connect.
Okay, here, you hold that. I will hold this. Thank you. Careful, my gloves and my handle are up, but that should be fine. Oh, wow. Ooh, that's snug. All right, folks, we are on the S22 by King Song with the upgraded sliders. Ooh, suspension. So you guys have heard me try the suspension on the Sherman S, and I loved it. I loved how cool it felt. And now I'm trying the S22. I have owned the S18. That's the smaller version of this one, but this one is more power, more suspension, really more everything. And so far, whoa, it feels like jumping on a trampoline. You want to try this next, Greggy?
Huh?
You want to try this next?
Nah,
Tell us a little bit about your bike. How's that thing treating you?
right here I got the Brompton electric.
Okay, wait, sorry, 1 second. Hold on, I have to give you this if I'm going to hear you. If the viewers are going to hear you. Here you go. You might need a second to put this on. Would you be able to do that? Yes, I am. Here you go. You can pinch the clip on the furry side.
Okay.
And just put it on your bicycle helmet strap or something. Or shirt collar. But strap would be better. Is the furry thing still on it?
Yep.
Okay, great. All right, Mr. Greggy on the electric bike. So I was asking you how that super compact, cool, foldable electric bike is treating you.
Yeah, so I'm ready.
And sorry, folks, I have to stop this interview audio right here for privacy reasons. I know, I'm sorry. The interview portion of this video cannot be used. But let's talk about e-bikes, you and me, while we wait for this small segment to be over, and then we'll resume with our normally scheduled programming. So bikes and e-bikes are universal and have been around for over 100 years. Most people know how to ride a bike. In fact, well before my EUC and scooter days, I was a real deal bicycle rider myself. I even participated in the 5-borough bike tour in New York City back in the day. But you know what? I really hate bikes because the seats hurt and they're uncomfortable. Also, they're slow and laggy. They get dirty. They require tons of maintenance. You really have to have a house or something where you can store a bunch of bikes in a garage or a backyard somewhere. Unless you're really efficient and you can hang it up on a wall or something. However, they do give you a better exercise, and bikes and e-bikes are way more marketable than EUCs because everyone knows how to ride one, and EUCs have a much larger, scarier learning curve. But in this new age, as new options become available like scooters and electric unicycles, bikes are really taking a huge hit, which is why they're innovating too. You have fold-up bikes and electric bikes and bikes with all kinds of cool, neat new features hitting the marketplace. Well, in my personal opinion, as an EUC rider, I don't think I could ever go back to riding a bicycle. In fact, in general, my opinion about bikes is that they're clunky and oversized and heavy and really not worth anything anymore. But that's my opinion. Most people might disagree with me, but anyone who rides an EUC is probably going to be in my camp, that bikes are outdated and clunky and expensive. In addition to that, I think long-distance bicycle riders or avid bicycle riders have a reputation for being hostile and aggressive towards pedestrians and sometimes even cars, not to mention the fact that cars tend to be aggressive and hostile towards bicycle riders. In fact, if you're a bicycle rider who loves to see the beautiful landscapes and outdoors and scenery and consider that to be a big part of the reason why they like to ride bikes, well, guess what? If you're on an EUC, you get all those benefits and more. You get to enjoy all the scenery and fresh air and meditation time with exerting little to no effort. In fact, if you're going to work every day and you want to bike to work, you're going to show up to work sweaty, even if you're on an electric bike. They tend to be a bit grueling sometimes. But on an EUC, you can put on your nice suit and tie and get there with nary a piece of dirt or sweat on your clothes at all. In fact, I would say that bicycles are slowly losing their utility value overall when compared to things like scooters and electric unicycles. The way I see it, if I really wanted to get some exercise, I would do something that burns even more calories, like work out with weights or do calisthenics, or even go out for a run. If I want to get out and see the scenery or make good time on long distances without having to drive my car, then EUC and maybe even scooter becomes the winning choice. I don't want to give scooters too much promo though, because they have their drawbacks as well. But that's for another video. And that concludes the interview portion of the video. We can resume back to our original audio track.
What's that? Signed up for the marathon yesterday.
Oh, marathon time.
Yeah,
nice.
buddy.
Congrats. That's huge.
So it's in November, so.
Oh, sweet.
Got to get up, get used to it. Oh, yeah.
Have you been training and everything?
A bit, yeah. I've done like 3 races.
I heard you have to volunteer and stuff before you're just eligible to...
Oh, should I give you your thing then?
No, it's on your thing, on your helmet.
Oh,
I see it.
God.
Yeah.
Thought it fell off.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Okay.
So running a marathon is a big milestone, huh?
Yeah, it is. You know, I mean, I can barely do 2, so doing 26 is going to be free.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish or whatever, but it's going to work, I guess.
Yeah, so I'm not a big runner, but there was a period in my life where I took running seriously for, I guess, a year or 2, and I knew that there were health benefits that included thinking clearly and sleeping better, and some other health benefits that don't have to do with your physical appearance, and that was really the reason why I was taking part in it. The greatest milestone I ever achieved in running was a half marathon where I ran 13.6 miles in 2 hours and 45 minutes. Okay, so over there my pal is riding my Veteran Sherman original V3, so it has the black buttons on top with the water resistance. If it has the blue buttons on top, it's the original veteran Sherman. If it has the black buttons, it has the higher pedals and so on. Looking at my wheel from back here, looks like it's not fully straight. Well, it's straight rim-wise because I don't see the gaps changing. But it looks like you can see the tire tread wiggling with motion. So that's interesting. Let me see if I can give you a view of that. Maybe not right now because it's in the shadow of the sun. Maybe on the northern bound ride when the sun is hitting it, you can get a better, closer look at it. But right now I'm just looking at how it looks like barely a millimeter though. So I'm satisfied because it feels super straight when I'm riding it. So it might just be a tread thing, like a tire seated thing. The motor, axle, and shell are definitely straight as an arrow. I can see that from here because when I look at the gap on both sides of the motor and I see the gap between the shell and the motor, then I can tell that it's straight. Yeah. So, okay, now back to the S22 that I'm riding on for the first time ever. S22 for the first time ever. Check it out. This one's hooked up with all kinds of stuff all on top of it. It's got the power pads and the Clark fairing system and all of that good stuff. But more importantly, how does it ride? How does it accelerate? So it does have a Michelin Pro 2 city tire, which is the first time for me to try that. That part of it feels smooth. I don't feel the clapping of the knobs on the pavement. I feel more like just totally smooth. So smooth, in fact, it's almost disconcerting. Okay, power-wise, I know that this wheel has a lot less battery quantity than the Sherman, so you don't get that power depth, but it does have a higher voltage, so it does have higher acceleration, and maybe some other stuff that I'm not completely technically savvy enough to describe, but I do feel that when it's, the responsiveness of it is good, even though it may not have the same top speed and stability. It's the same weight as the Sherman, give or take, depending on your accessories and whatnot. But the real name of the game on the difference here between this and the Sherman is this ability to bounce and have suspension absorbing some of the bumps on the road for you. Now, I can see why Mike Leahy and Chameleonaire and EUC Girl gravitate towards the King Song S22, even though there are other bigger, more expensive, quote-unquote, better wheels, and yet somehow they're still showing the S22 more love on the jumps. Maybe it's because of this incredible amount of suspension travel. I'm not sure, not 100%, but I know that the S22 really stands its ground in some areas, even though it's nowhere. It's like by no means considered a top wheel. Now, could this be my only wheel? If I had to just have one wheel, now sure, I'd have a few choices, like the Lynx first and foremost, maybe a veteran Sherman original like the one I have, or a veteran Sherman Max, or maybe a veteran Sherman S. So I have a big list already of a top 5, maybe even a top 10 already. Would the S22 do okay as an only wheel situation for me? Well, so far, given the stability, I was high off the ground. Getting off the wheel just now felt strange. How low I had to get, like the travel for my feet to get off the pedal and onto the ground. So I'm already way higher off the ground on this wheel than I am when I'm on the Sherman. Okay, that said, so could this be an only wheel? Unless I do like 30 miles an hour, I can't tell you for sure, but I'm going to try that right now and tell you. So, I've yet to rip this wheel because I'm still getting used to it. It feels a little squirrely, so I'm still kind of figuring it out. But let's see if I can do 30 at least real quick. Okay. Yeah, this could be my only wheel. If I had this wheel as my only wheel, I wouldn't be like starving for more power or more acceleration or a better feeling ride or a bigger, more comfortable wheel. I'd be like, yeah, I like this wheel. It's fun. I mean, I know that the top speed for this wheel is 43 miles an hour. I know that it's had reliability issues and issues with parts, Like the suspension has multiple parts, so you have to kind of swap them out and upgrade. I know that there's an issue with the motor. The original motor had some issues, so you have to swap out the motor. But let's just say, for argument's sake, you have yourself a good, up-to-date S22 Pro with all the bells and whistles and none of the problem parts, and all the issues are resolved. And let's just say the wheel costs you $3,000. And let's say it has a top speed of 43 miles an hour. Good acceleration, not a lot of range because the battery is smaller than your average big wheel battery. And let's say it's not a cutout wheel, it's not a fire wheel. And let's say it has this nice road tire. Overall, what do you make of this wheel, you CNYC guy? Well, my official review would be this. This is a great, thank you, like only wheel. It does everything. It's got everything built in. Let's go full lap, I'd say. Yeah, beautiful day out here. I think it's got everything a person would want. Plenty of top speed. The only thing might be the range. So if this wheel is a wheel you can kill the battery and you have to go home, then I can see how that could be a point of concern. That could be a point of concern. So I don't kill my Sherman battery, but I can tell you that the Sherman has a humongous battery. I think it's like time and a half what this wheel has, which gives you power depth, which prevents cutouts, and gives you better top speeds and better acceleration overall. But honestly, the acceleration on this wheel, I can't really, I'm not one to like take off like a Human Torch or anything, but I can probably tell you that the acceleration on this wheel, let me see, it feels solid. Okay, how about when I go fast and hit a bump? Is it really that much better? I feel like I've argued with other users before about this and said, no, it's a gimmick. And so far here, I'm seeing bumps. I'm trying to take bumps. Yeah, it's a little better. I'm not gonna sit here and just resist for the sake of resistance. The suspension makes the bumps feel a little smoother. And maybe there are better suspension wheels. I'm just going by what the S22 feels like. Now, when I tried the Sherman, I didn't speed with it and I didn't take any bumps with it. I just kind of tried it in like a parking lot setting. So I could tell you that it felt incredibly smooth. The suspension felt really good, but what does that really mean for real life riding and application? So I can't really speak to that as much, but yeah, I'd say give me a week with this wheel to really do my day-to-days and to do my like kind of dodging potholes and cars and accelerate and have long riding days to see how it holds up range-wise if I start to feel too much voltage sag. So overall, I would want to like have a week to like give this wheel some real world, like the way I do with the Sherman. Like I put the Sherman through the ringer, so I can tell you, like when I'm on the Sherman, I can feel the wheel. I know what to do, what I can do, what I can't do. I know just what the wheel's limits are. Well, not that it has limits that have hindered me in any way, but I can tell you like, oh, it's still got more power to give. I've beaten it down worse than this, and so overall, what it comes out to is that the Sherman is well above the average required amount of power output and stability needs. So then anyway, with the Sherman, again, the disadvantage of the Sherman over a wheel like this one, even though the Sherman is arguably the better wheel, is that you've got this bouncing effect going on, this suspension built in. Now, suspension, the other area, the unspoken or the unarticulable disadvantages of the suspension wheels also tends to be the moving parts and the need for maintenance and the headache and how difficult it is to take it apart and put it back together, and the price for the additional parts and the riding, the cost per miles and all that. So you can't really articulate that advantage or disadvantage just from merely getting on the wheel and riding it. That comes more from long-term ownership, which in this case is not me. I'm just using this wheel for a bit and giving my thoughts on how it feels while I'm riding. How it looks pretty cool. I mean, This one has some mods and customization, so it doesn't have the usual red, what I consider kind of tacky looking bit of red plastic and stuff that comes on this wheel stock from King Song. Which isn't to say I don't love King Song's design. I think overall King Song does a good job of designing good technology, good engineering, even good styling overall. But the way this wheel is customized, I think it looks better than how it looks when it's stock. So in that case, I would say the wheel looks and feels pretty good. I mean, if it was my only wheel, I'd probably still be looking for that upgrade one day to like a Lynx one day. But it wouldn't be like I was in a rush or I'm risking my safety every day riding a wheel that's too contained, that has not enough power, and I can't really open her up. I'm going to risk cutting out. No, I don't feel like it's in that area at all. I feel like it's in the area of this is my everyday and this is my good wheel. And this thing gets it done. It'll outrace most bicycles, most scooters. I can get to where I'm going in efficient time, even for EUC standards, and so on. So, and I feel safe on it. You know, going in between cars and accelerating my way out of trouble when needed. So yeah, I think that would kind of give you my good take and assessment on this wheel. I don't like jumping on wheels like this to feel the suspension, but I'm just doing it because it feels so alien to me. I'm not really used to it. But overall, I think like you're using up like suspension wear and tear needlessly by forcing it to suspend, forcing it to bounce. But yeah, just once you get the feel for it, then, you know, then chill out and just let it do its work. Yeah, it feels really good to ride a street Michelin tire. This feels nice. I like how smooth it feels. The center of the motor axle feels smooth too, but I do feel the tiny bit of, I don't know how to call it, like non-smoothness, like friction, but all wheels have that. The only wheel to date that I've tried that didn't have that was the Sherman S, which felt so smooth even from within the axle that it just felt like surreal. It didn't feel like your average electric unicycle would feel. But that also comes down to mileage and proper care. So once you get water into the bearing, into the center of the wheel where the axle is, and rust starts to develop, then you lose that smoothness. You start to gain this like crunchy, granular, sandy feel while riding. It doesn't mean that your friction is going to set the thing on fire or anything. Nothing's going to turn red hot, but it's just, you know, the smoother, the better mileage overall, the better feeling ride overall, and so on. And for this wheel, it's got to be in pretty good shape because it feels pretty smooth. But I know it's also partially from the tire as well. So, yeah. I wonder how fast I can do a lap on this wheel and then fast I can do a lap on the Sherman. He's yelling at her, "You're going the wrong way." I think my theory about bicyclists yelling at people is that you get a lot of adrenaline while bike riding, while exercising in general. So that adrenaline causes you to just be more vocal and like okay with yelling at people. So it's not that you mean any harm by it, it's just you're more ready to exert your speech over others. So don't take it personally if a bicyclist yells at you. It means he's just getting it in. Yo, how's it feeling, man? Enjoying this beautiful fresh air?
Are you doing like a video?
Yeah, I'm doing a video lap right now. I'm talking about how I feel on this wheel versus that wheel.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so this is kind of alien to me right now, and I like it. I'm discussing the pros and cons. There aren't really many cons other than what I know in my head of it, but it's just the battery is not as big, so you wouldn't get as much range. But other than that, it feels great. It's got suspension on it. It's just feels pretty fast. Let's see if I can. Yeah, so I'm not as scared of all the bumps up ahead as I am when I'm on the Sherman. Because a Sherman bump, sometimes you feel your pedals, you feel your feet come off the pedals. But with this, you do not feel that. You're still very much planted on the wheel. Yeah, so Alright, this has been my first impression / review of the S22. I'm going to say Pro, even though I don't know that for a fact, if it's the Pro or not. I don't know if that's a great place to hang out. I don't know. It's probably fine. Yeah, so folks, if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like, subscribe, comment, and share, and have a great day. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.